Water puppetry, a unique type of folk theater art, originated from the wet rice culture. Water puppetry came into existence more than 10 centuries ago in the Red River Delta. Puppetry is available in many countries around the world, but water puppetry is unique in Vietnam. In water puppetry, people use water as a stage. This stage is also known as puppet house or water house, erected in the middle of the pond or lake, with balanced architecture symbolizing the roof of the communal house in Vietnamese rural areas. Water puppetry is usually held on special occasions, like in village festivals or Tet holiday. However, nowadays, to meet the increasing demand for folk art and to serve tourism, water puppetry has been brought to major local and international theaters. In Vietnam's water puppetry treasure, there are 30 traditional items and hundreds of modern tangled items, telling the story of Vietnamese people and their everyday life. As a person who has been living and working in Vietnam for many years, the young Russian woman called Kseniia Kholkina cannot miss the opportunity to enjoy this unique type of Vietnamese art.
Hello and welcome to Sharing Vietnam on VTC10 Netviet channel. So on today's program, we are going to have a talk with a Russian lady who has been living in Vietnam for a long time. She has many opportunities to discover the beauty of Vietnam. Recently, she not only saw the water puppet show, but also learned how to make water puppets. Hello, Kseniia. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, nice to meet you and thank you for inviting me here.
You have been living in Vietnam for a very long time, so how do you feel about Vietnamese traditional art?
In general, I found Vietnamese culture very interesting, very unique and very various, I would say. And especially the traditional art is very interesting to me. There are different types of art that really attracts me. For example, there is let's say painting, but it's not the same painting as in my country, but painting by using some unusual materials or other kind of crafts. In general, as you know, I'm living here for a very long time, but until now it's still surprising me a lot.
So how many Vietnamese traditional arts that you have know or learned before?
As I already mentioned, there are a lot of different types of arts and crafts here, so I think it's really hard for me to count right now. But I'm the lucky one. Maybe I have more opportunities than other expats living in Ho Chi Minh City, because I joined some TV shows such as Living in Vietnam in a Day. I had experience, I had great opportunities to experience different kind of traditional arts, and I'm really thankful for that.
Do you remember the first time you watched water puppet show in Vietnam, and how was your feeling at that time?
Actually, I heard about this art for a very long time, and I heard very positive feedback, and this is something really special. But I just could attend it about maybe 4 or 5 years ago for the first time. I should have done it earlier. It was amazing because, we say water puppet, but it's not just about a water puppet. It's about the story, it's about the music, about the traditional instruments, about singing. It's a fantastic combination of everything. It's really, really amazing. It's really impressive. I can remember my feeling until now. I saw some other performances like acrobatic stuff, or maybe some kind of circus, let's say Chinese circus is famous as well. But I don't think there's anything similar to the water puppet like it is in Vietnam.
About the water puppet in Vietnam, what things about that attracts you?
First of all, it's something really unique and really special. You may not understand it from the first time, but it would be interesting for you and attractive. The other thing which is really interesting to me is that how they manage to recreate those folk stories, like traditional stories of Vietnam, and they are placed in very short place. And you know, this is really the art, and we don't need to understand the language. Like, this art doesn't have a language barrier. Like, we don't need to understand the language, or you know, we don't need to really know much about Vietnam in order to still be able to understand what the artist is trying to show to us. So I think it's also something what helps us to understand more about the culture, learn more about the people here, and maybe the history, the literature, etc. So it's just something what makes us feel closer with Vietnamese people and Vietnamese culture. So in one word, I just love it.
In a recent TV show, Kseniia had a chance to gain deeper insights into water puppetry of Vietnam. She was introduced to this art and its special features by artisan Phùng Quang Oánh.
Cái này là trang phục của ông câu cá.
Dạ.
Trong cái trò mà nó bắt cá không. Thì cái trang phục này là trang phục của người Việt ngày xưa. Đó. Đây là trang phục của người nam giới ngày xưa. Thế còn trang phục đây là trang phục của người nữ giới. Của đồng bằng,
cái này chỉ nhận biết được.
Của đồng bằng Bắc Bộ. Thì cái này là cái ngày xưa là thường là con gái của khu vực phía Bắc ấy. Thế còn cái này là bằng váy này, váy là yếm đào. Ngày xưa là con gái là hay mặc cái yếm.
Cái này là gì? Là phoenix hả?
Cái này là con phượng.
Con
phượng.
Con phượng.
Đó là từ chuyện Việt Nam hay sao?
Đúng rồi, chuyện Việt Nam.
In addition, the artisan showed her how to create water puppets and also the special features of the puppets, such as the eyes, smiles, costumes, and hairstyle, etc.
Mình nha,
Dạ.
mình sẽ làm này. Ví dụ đây là làm mặt đúng không?
Dạ.
Đó. Mình sẽ kẻ để lấy cái tâm.
Dạ.
Thế xong mình sẽ lấy cái điểm này là điểm cái mũi. Đó. Xong rồi đây là cái môi.
Dạ.
Xong rồi mình tỉa đây đi. Đó.
Dạ.
Thì
Cái này làm như thế nào?
Mình sẽ dùng cái này. Đây là cái điểm tỉa nha.
Dạ.
Đó.
Như vậy hả?
Đây là đó.
Và đi một như vậy hả?
Đi theo cái đường mực.
As for this young Russian woman, this experience has broadened her knowledge of Vietnamese culture and people after her long time living and working in Vietnam.
Last time you had an opportunity to learn how to make Vietnamese water puppets with a Vietnamese artisan. So how was your feeling?
That was a really unique opportunity. You know, I heard a lot about this type of art, and I even attended a performance. I brought my parents to watch it. I recommended it to my friends. But I would never imagine that I would have such an opportunity to try it by myself, you know, and understand more from insights of the art. In the reality, I just had one day to try, and it's not really such a long period of time. It's not enough for me to, you know, master my skills, but at least it gives me some basic understanding of the process. It was really interesting. It was really creative. It was challenging, and I was really thankful for this opportunity. I think it's something what I will keep in my heart and remember and bring it along with me. It was one of the greatest experience I had.
In the process of making water puppets, did you face any difficulties?
Of course, you know, I'm not a superwoman, and in anything what you are doing, you have to have practice, you have to have some skills, you have to have experience. Only then you can make it better, right? And that was the first time that I actually kept a piece of wood in my hands and tried to create something out of it. So it was difficult for me. I think I was fine on the side of the creativity, but I was lack of the practical skills, or maybe I'm not physically that strong. So I think the time when I had to like cut the wood or create a shape of the body, it was difficult for me, because at one side you had to be like very strong, on the other side you had to do it like really precisely in order that you do not break the wood, so it's like a balance of gentle things and your strength. So I found it a little bit like difficult, but I'm happy because I could overcome it and I completed the challenge.
There are many steps of making water puppets, and among that steps, which one that you like best and why?
Oh, can you guess?
Painting?
Exactly, because it basically brings me back to my childhood, when you got those like white shapes and you try to color them. So I felt fun, very relaxing. It was also some sort of like feeling like, well, it was therapeutic as well, I think. On that step, I didn't need to focus so much or, use my strength. I could just relax and let it go and enjoy it, So I felt very, very happy when I did it.
How about the Vietnamese artisans, especially the person who taught you how to make Vietnamese water puppets?
He's a very patient person, because even though I tried to break a few of his dolls, he still didn't kick me out. Well, to be serious, first, what I'm feeling when I'm thinking about him is a lot of respect to what he's doing. In order to do this kind of job, you need to have some special skills. For example, you have to have eyes for details, you have to be patient, you have to be very focused, and I think the most important is that you have to love the job that you are doing. Basically, in any kind of job, if we don't like what we are doing, we cannot perform well. So he must have a lot of patience and passion when he is doing what he is doing, And on the top of that, I would say he is a great teacher, because even though I had just very limited time with him, some people, for example, some teachers, even professional teachers, they have the knowledge, they have the skills, but they don't know how to teach, they don't know how to pass it to the other people. But this person, he's not only the real true master, but he's also a great mentor.
So Vietnamese water puppetry is an art. And in your opinion, how should Vietnamese people do to promote this art, to make foreigners know more about water puppet show in Vietnam?
Based on my experience, I see that people around me, they are very welcoming me when I want to understand more about the art or the culture or some other aspects, and they are very willing to share. Moreover, there are a lot of cultural shows, like some kind of a TV shows that you can watch in order to understand more, and those shows available in English as well, or even some other languages, not only in Vietnamese. So I think Vietnamese people are doing quite well on that aspect. Living here, I see a lot of festivals about Japan, like Japanese culture, or maybe Thai culture. Maybe we should do something like that, but about Vietnamese culture as well, show what we have, because Vietnam is a huge country and every part of Vietnam has its own interesting and special things. I'm sure that this kind of events would be interested not only for the foreigners, but for the local people as well.
So Kseniia, thank you so much for your sharing today.
Thank you so much, and see you again.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the end of our program today. Thank you so much for your watching. See you next time.